And we are live. Guys, I'd like to welcome you to a very special edition of the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. Tonight, I have a lady who's been on a few times before, but when I find someone who's a great guest, I just keep having them over and over and over again. It makes sense. And Rhonda Pitts, she's from Arkansas. She's self-made. Nobody really helped her. She just started fishing with us. We all loved her. So we all started having her on our podcast, and she has a very, very special announcement she'd like to tell you, and I'm going to let her do that. So without further ado, Rhonda, tell us what happened this week or maybe 2 weeks ago that was so exciting.
So I'm sitting at work, and it's the day's winding down, and my phone bling, and I look at it, and it's an email from Bass, and I look at it, and it is the invitation to fish the opens for next year.
Now, please explain this, because it's an open, so you have to be invited.
Well, the way that mine came was through my fourth place finish that I did on Lake Erie for the national qualifier.
Ooh.
So anybody can fish the opens, which is true. Sure. But I did get, an email inviting me to come fish. So that was a huge shock and an honor. So,
So is this an email invitation to one of the divisions or to the all 9? Or?
Yeah, I could fish all 9 if I wanted to. I don't have the time or resources to do that. But I would like to Division 2. So Division 2.
Which division would you fish, Rhonda?
It would be Division 2. So it would be some of my favorite lakes, actually. We would start out on Sam Rayburn and then go to Pickwick and Grand Lake of the Cherry. And then it would end up at La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi River.
Ooh, I fished. Most of the tournaments I fished on the bass side have been at La Crosse, Wisconsin. I have family that I would stay at.
Yeah.
When I would be fishing La Crosse, and it's not as much fun to stay at an uncle's house, but
it's cheaper.
Oh, yeah, as you know,
expensive lately. So.
Well, as you know, if you want to become a millionaire by fishing, you have to start out as a billionaire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and when you're fishing at that level, you just hemorrhage money.
Yes, and and that's one of the things that plays a part in me doing it or not. I'm trying to pick up some financial backing if I can do that. So,
Well, guys, if you're watching this and you can help out Rhonda at all, this is the lady we want fishing the elites.
Well, thank you, Jay. I really do appreciate that.
I will give you all the publicity and marketing backing I can do.
I appreciate that. I really do.
And John, I was just talking to John Stoutinger today. He's doing much better.
Good.
And him and Rob have all the plans in the world to come back in January. They also back you.
Yes.
We're buddies. Me, John, and Rob are just buddies. All 3 of us.
Yeah. I really appreciate them having me on the show so much, and you having me on the show, and it's honestly.
That's what we strive to do. We strive to get the good people and give them lots of publicity so that the arena we work in is nicer.
Yeah.
When I first started being an outdoor communicator back in 97, there were a lot of real divas. In fact, one guy came up. I came up to him and asked him if he would be on my radio show. No. I turned around. I cussed him, and he said, "What'd you just say?" I said, "I think you heard me just fine." Turn around. Hey, I can be a jerk too.
Well,
and he went around telling her, "Just what Jay Angel said to me." Well, what'd you say to him? Well,
yeah.
And one of my buddies, you didn't know this guy's like my best friend. Do you realize he also grew up in Chicago just like I did? I don't go around telling people that. So much to talk to you about tonight. The quiver trap.
The quiver trap. Yes, I am so excited about the quiver trap. Um, you know, David Swinson and I have been on the phone and uh, texting and talking about it for quite a while. And also, there was an article in the latest Bassmaster magazine.
There sure was.
So, and the article turned out really, really well. And I'm glad to see Drink Crazy and getting the publicity that they deserve.
Oh, absolutely, man. David Swinside getting the publicity he deserves, and just the innovation that guy puts into his lures is just amazing.
Just having a conversation with him on the phone is mind-boggling some days.
He has talked to me. I look at the, when I've been in a hotel for work, just spending the nights out away, and I look up at my clock. We've been on the phone for 2 hours, and
it doesn't take long when you're talking, because he is such a wealth of knowledge. I mean,
oh my gosh, next level.
Yeah, like several levels.
Yes, but okay. Do you have a quiver trap to show the folks?
So I have. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay, so this is a Drink Crazy Skibble. I hope I said that right. Skibble, Skibble. And you take this and you put an EYG hook through it, and it's topwater. It's silent finesse topwater.
It's kind of just right. Look up quiver trap on YouTube, and it'll show you this. It kind of just travels right underneath the water and leaves a ripple.
Yeah.
It's just, you just know there's going to be something coming up and back of that thing.
Yeah. It's with the shape of the bait, it really imitates a dying shad is what it does. And it comes in different colors. I just happen to have white and pearl because those are some of my favorites for down here.
Absolutely. And also, why don't you tell the folks how you would hook that thing?
So it's got slits on the bottom and on the top. I know you can't see those. And you just take your EYG and you run it perpendicular, vertical in there. So the hook is sticking straight up. And you pull it sideways.
So it kind of crabs a little bit, back and forth.
That's the term that I've seen David use, is it crabs through the water.
And it's just underneath the surface, guys, just subsurface, kind of like a wake bait.
But I was going to say, it reminds me of a silent wake bait.
But it's just underneath the surface, and if you want to put a nail head in it, it'll go down and you can crab it underneath, That would be something I would want to just pull like right over eelgrass.
Mm-hmm.
Or pull through some skunk or some cabbage. If you've been up north, you've probably seen cabbage. When you go to La Crosse, you will see it.
Well, and a lot of the videos that I've seen of them demonstrating the technique, it's been open water. They're using
water.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like in the middle of the lake, but they're not right up on the bank or in a bunch of grass, or, if it is, you can't see it from the videos. There might be some reeds and stuff up on the bank, but, for the most part, you would use it, like you would any other top water.
Well, it's sending out all those in the lateral lines of the bass. This thing is quivering, guys. It's just doing this, and it's sending out ripples on the top of the water. So there's 2 or 3 different ways that the bass can zoom in on this thing.
Yeah. And from the science of it, that what David and I have talked about is, like you said, it affects the lateral lines on the fish.
Yes.
And that's key in on it.
And he was really excited because he called me, and the first question he asked, "Are you still doing the saltwater thing?" I said, "I don't fish much bass anymore because it's 4 hours to a place I can catch bass, or I can go 2 hours south and catch redfish and speckled trout." And he started telling me about this thing, and I pulled up a video while we were talking. I said, "That's Redfish City right there." And he said, "When a trout bites something that's 7 inches long," I said, "Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trout will bite at this thing just because they don't like it.
Right.
They're just mean."
Well, and
the saltwater is mean.
I can see it being used for smallmouth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Even a
I
little
mean,
10-inch smallmouth is going to grab that 7-inch thing.
oh yeah, because they hate everything.
They do. They do. And up north, and he's like, well, people say muskies and pike. I said, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Catching a 40-inch muskie, unless I am actively fishing a tournament, that
Exactly.
one would
And
make me mad. But any other time, man, fighting a 40-inch muskie is fun.
yeah,
It's going to tear up my quiver trap, but
I'm not gonna be that upset about it,
that's why I never buy just one. I never buy just 24 of anything.
Yeah.
I'm obsessive. I don't think about anything else, which is a problem, particularly at work. But yeah, man, I was so excited about that. He had me fired up. He still does.
Oh, yeah. Every time you talk to him, it doesn't long, and
I told him, man, I am going to promote this thing. Everybody's going to know about it.
yeah.
If you want to keep a secret, do not tell an outdoor communicator, because we are the mouths of the fishing industry.
Well, and don't put it in the Bassmaster magazine because it's out there.
Yes. The one magazine that still exists.
Yeah.
Yes. I just said that. I'll tell you later with the reason.
Okay.
But yeah, that's funny. Yes, exactly, man. This is exciting. I remember trying to figuring out spy baiting, the last big thing that he brought to America, and the art of silent capture.
Oh yeah.
First time I was sitting there, the tide was going out. I was using my spy bait going like this, and I had it on 6-pound line, just like you told me. And there were a bunch of trout looking at that thing. What is that thing? What is? And they were like looking at it, and I was catching one. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a big old red came up. 6-pound line gone.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what? I have caught salmon on 6-pound line. I have caught 20-pound salmon, 15-pound steelhead on 4-pound line. And I couldn't catch a 10-pound. I've lost it. I'm horrible at fishing.
And sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you win and sometimes they win.
Yes, fishing is something that humbles me constantly.
Yes, every time you go out.
And my friends who are big, they were big at sports in high school. And they were actually good at sports in high school, which I wasn't. They get angry. I'm like, no, it's not like that, man. You have to be patient with this. You're not going to get better overnight. I don't care how athletically prowess.
Exactly.
How good you are at sports. Fish don't care.
No, they don't.
Good thing about fishing is I can still do this when I'm 85.
Yes. Yes, that's the best part about the whole thing.
You just get better at it. Yeah. I'll never fish the Bassmaster Opens, but as an outdoor communicator, I can fish with all kinds of people for all kinds of things.
Yes, you can.
And that's just fun. I'm just having fun. I get to talk to people like you. I get to talk to people like you about cool things. Where have you been catching fish? Tell me about this big bass you caught on Sam Rayburn.
So last year on my birthday, I was in tournament, and before 7:00, I had her in the boat. It was weighed 38.
What?
She was 8 pounds, 8.38 was the weight.
My goodness.
And yeah, it was in tournament on my birthday, and I mean, what better way to have a birthday, right?
What did you catch that using?
A chatterbait.
A chatterbait?
Yep, a bladed jig.
Wow. Did you have a trailer on it too?
Yeah.
Like a Zako?
Actually, I was using a freeloader.
Okay. Oh, you're using a chatterbait. All of a sudden, that chatterbait stops dead. Big bass.
I took and I set the hook, and when I set the hook, nothing moved.
No,
so I had a big.
If it starts just going away, it's just real slow and cocky like this.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Loosen that drag.
Well, hey, the funny thing about it is I was flipping it like a jig because we were fishing a flooded island. So I was flipping it like a jig. and I flipped it up there to that brush, and I had gotten a hit on the other side of the island. And
Okay.
I told Elisa, I said, Elisa, we need to go around the other side because I just got tapped there. I said,
Yeah.
so we need to go around. So we fished, the whole front side of the island, and then motored back around, and we come around that point, and I got up there and flipped that bladed jig right up in that brush. I mean, on the fall.
Ooh. So you just flipped it out there and following it down and
Yep.
thunk.
I didn't even barely got to, engage my reel.
And thunk.
When she hit it.
Good. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't worth nothing for the rest of the day. I was like, okay, I can quit fishing now. I'm ready to go.
Did it jump?
Yes.
Did your heart stop when it jumped?
Yeah.
Oh, please. Please say
oh, please say oh. Yeah.
Yeah, because those dang bladed jigs, man, I don't know what it is about them. Bladed jigs, structure jigs, any kind of jigs. I've lost so many fish on them.
Yep.
You get a 5-pounder. Yes.
Oh, I lost a double digit on Toledo Bend.
Oh. Same thing?
Yep.
Bladed jig?
Yep.
So you got a 5-aught hook. Single hook.
Yeah.
Not a treble hook. I expect to lose stuff on treble hooks, but single hook, 5-aught.
Yep.
Sharper than hooks ever have been, because you don't have to sharpen hooks anymore. I can remember when I was younger, man. I would night before a tournament, I'd have all these little cuts because I'm.
Yep.
Then you put it on your thumbnail and see if it hangs. You got to do that for every one of your crankbaits.
Yeah, fortunately, we got real good hooks now. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to do that anymore. That's why it just is beyond me why we lose so many.
What
My buddy Lee Bailey told me how to hold on to a fish.
Yeah.
Watch the last podcast I did with him, and that's why I have people like him who he fished the elites and the MLF at the same time for years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the guy's just next level.
So what was the advice?
I can't remember the whole thing. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm having a senior moment.
That's okay. It happens.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, watch Lee Bailey's last podcast I did with him. He will tell you how to hold on to a fish, particularly when you're punching.
Yeah.
Because when I'm punching, man, I want to pull that fish straight up and straight into the boat.
Yep.
How do I do that with a 5-pounder? I've never had experience that.
Right, it's fine.
I've never hooked into a 5-pounder doing that. I've always been like 12 inches.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you land that monster? Or were you allowed to use nets?
Yes, we are allowed to use nets. So yeah, she was net.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because boat flipping, you'd have to have a heck of a rod to be able to boat flip.
Yeah, no, I'd have been down in the bottom of the boat with my hands lipping her if I'd have had to do that. Absolutely.
I know. I've seen guys sit in their seats.
Yep. That's exactly what I'd have been doing.
Oh, she'd have been in if I'd had to jump in after her. I actually did jump in the water after a great big walleye one time when I was guiding.
Oh, really?
We just had a walleye that was just amazing. It's freaking 28 inches long. And we were fishing for a bluegill, so he had on, an ultralight with like 2-pound test. And,
oh, wow, yeah.
And he's like, I got a monster. I looked over, yeah, you got a fish. And he pulled it up, and it was that walleye. And he's like, where's your net? You said you were going, bluegill fishing. You didn't tell me you were going to fish for 10-pound walleyes.
Yeah.
So I got in the water, and I put my hands up into his gills.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do I do? I'm like, grab it. Well, won't that hurt? I said, blood's already running down my arms. Grab it now. And he did, man. He grabbed it. He's like, oh, my finger, My thumbs are bleeding. I'm just crying for you, man.
Yeah.
You caught the biggest freaking walleye I've ever seen caught. And I've been fishing this lake all my life. Well, that particular lake was the biggest walleye I'd ever seen come out of that lake. And you caught it in my boat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much fun. So much fun. So, chatterbait, is that one of your favorite methods?
Well, I mean, after you catch an 8-pounder on one, it's hard for it not to be.
Yeah. But you catch fish. Is this one of your go-tos?
Yeah, it is one of my go-tos. I generally always have one tied.
So what color?
White.
White. There you go. With a white trailer?
Usually either a Tennessee shad or gizzard shad.
Brock Mosley's been on my show several times, and that's just about all he uses.
Yeah.
A chatterbait with a Yamamoto Seiko.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he got his third up on, actually right next to Lake Ontario, the St. Lawrence River where it comes out. He never went into Lake Ontario. He just fished. He was fishing boat docks.
Yeah.
In the St. Lawrence River, close to Lake Ontario, with a chatterbait, and he got third against all those guys catching the giants out in the Great Lakes.
Yep.
And he was catching largemouth.
Yep. Well, largemouth grow bigger than smallmouth generally.
They do, but also this was a Great Lakes tournament up north.
Yep.
In a traditional giant smallmouth water.
So
he went against the grain and got scored a third, which I just think is amazing.
I saw a video from Bass this week sometime where I think it's 3 or maybe 4 of the tournaments that they had up north this year were won catching largemouth. Lacrosse was one of them.
Lacrosse, I fished it so many times. The 2 checks I took back, I took home on lacrosse. One of them was as a co, and one of them was as a pro. I caught fishing largemouth, and I caught them when everybody else was throwing frogs, and I was wacky rigging.
Yep.
3 feet down. Oh, it's just a perfect situation. Duckweed as far as the eye can see.
Yep.
And 3 feet down, you have thick vegetation. So many things you can do. So many things. In fact, early in the morning you go out there and you can see all the lines where guys were throwing frogs, and you can see the holes that our fish created when it hit the frog.
Exactly.
And you go around there, you can see it.
Yep.
And I won't go 90 miles an hour in my boat. Doesn't happen. But anyways, so I wasn't the 30th guy there. So
yeah.
So
yeah, I prefer to fish slow and to really pick an area apart, especially if you pick up 1 or 2, then really slow down and hit the lay down from different angles, because just because just because you throw it a certain way this time, if you come back and hit it a different way the next time, it may get a reaction bite out of it. So, if you're picking up a fish here or there, there's nothing to go around a pocket. Go around it one way and then turn around and come back the other way.
Who's really good at that is Damian Tao. He's one of your teammates on Team Davidson side.
Yeah.
Damian Tao talks about angles.
Yes.
And shadows.
Yep.
And how he found one tree. And if he threw it at the exact right angle, he got bit. There must have been schools of fish down there. Wow. Yeah. Which is why I like podcasting.
Because you if there's a lay down or some kind of structure in the water and you pick up a fish off of it, well, don't just automatically go to the next whatever. Fish it again, because, fish hang out together. And if there's one, generally there's more than one. And you might pick up the little one first because they're faster. But you go back and you throw right back in there, you may pick up the big boy.
It does my heart good to hear you say that, because the Southern boys like to always be moving.
Yeah.
And, up north, where we don't have all the structure they have down here, you might pick up 10 bass. And I'm not talking 10 inches.
Right.
On one element of structure, I would go down a riprap shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was guiding, I had 3 guys on my boat. They'd all be throwing wacky rigs.
Yeah.
Yum dingers, because that's who sponsored me back then. And they'd all catch fish. And then we turn around and do it again.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're not going to catch fish again. I said, are you guiding or am I?
Exactly.
And then we go down again and they catch just as many fish on the same place. Like, you might have even been catching the same fish, dude. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't eat my fish, so these fish are my bread and butter. Now we're going to go to the next place and look for big fish.
Yeah.
But now that we've already caught 15,
right.
I'm feeling better about myself as a guide. So let's go looking for big fish. Or would you like to continue to catch these 15 inchers?
Yeah. And, some people...
Your trip, man.
Yeah, some people want numbers and some people won't weight. And figure out which one they want. And, normally when we go off with a guide, we're like, especially if we're there for multiple days, we'll say, okay, we want one day to just whack them. We'll catch everything we can catch. And then we want one day where we don't do anything but go target the bigs.
Yes, you got to tell them, I don't care if I only get 3 bites.
Yes. And that's what I don't care if I don't get but 1 bite today.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
As long as he's pulling drag. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So when you use this quiver trap, are you using a bait caster or a spinning rod?
Probably on a spinning rod, yeah.
Okay. David said that he used a bait caster, and in the video I saw the guy was using a bait caster. But I have some really, really, really good spinning rods. In fact, one time I had EMS here, and all EMS wanted to do was look at my fishing rods. Something like this, a medium weight, a medium action with 20-pound braid, 7 feet long. It's big enough to handle the quiver trap, the 7-inch long thing.
Yeah.
Cast it. Also, it's big enough to handle an 8-pound bass, because I shoot with this Grant rod right here. I've caught 20-pound reds.
Well, and I believe that's a common misconception about spinning rods. Just because it's a spinning rod doesn't mean it won't catch big bass.
Oh yeah.
I caught a 723 smallmouth on a spinning rod.
Yes, I believe that.
So, and that's like catching a 10-pound largemouth, according to Jake Wheeler.
I believe that. No, I truly believe that. I fished hard, man. I fished Green Bay. I fished Lake St. Clair. I fished Lake Erie. I fished a lot of the smaller lakes in Michigan and northern Wisconsin. The biggest one I ever caught was 618.
Yeah.
No, the biggest one I ever weighed.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger and I was in the Air Force and I was living in northern Michigan, I caught smallmouths that were bigger than that, but it doesn't matter because I don't have a picture or
scale.
or a like, well, did you weigh it? Dude, I was like 21 years old. I was in the Air Force. I was drinking all the time.
No,
I had no money.
Yeah.
Just young and dumb, but I had time to fish every day.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about it is if you look at the tournament anglers who are in MLF or on the elites, and you watch the video footage, whether it be, TV or the live coverage or whatever, 90% of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but probably 90% of them are standing on their front deck with a spinning rod, using the forward-facing sonar and a minnow. And they're catching huge fish all day, every day. So,
that's something you brought up a great point, because I fished so much when I was in the Air Force, and I had all this stuff. I was reading Bassmaster magazine. I was reading a lot of the other stuff that was written about smallmouth, and it kept telling me to use big things. Man, I would use 1.5 inch crappie jig.
I just started to say crappie bait.
Yeah, crappie jig, man. An inch and a half crappie jig that was orange and had black pepper flake in it.
Yep.
And that's what I caught my biggest smallmouth bass ever on. In fact,
Yep.
I was up on Green Bay fishing with a guy, and he was a tournament angler, and I took out that thing because they were short biting. We were using big tubes, 4-inch tubes, and so I brought out an inch and a half tube, and it took me 2 minutes just to get that thing down to the bottom. And he's like, "Oh, what are you fishing for, perch?" And I said, "Watch and learn."
Yeah, exactly.
And I started catching smallmouth. How many smallmouths have you caught? Did I hook in the other? How many smallmouths have you caught? How many smallmouths have you caught, by the way?
Exactly.
Maybe you should be fishing for perch.
Yep.
I use what the fish tell me they want. And when I'm getting short strikes with a 4-inch tube, that tells me I should be downsizing, because then they're just going to.
Exactly.
And they're not going to mess around with it. They're just going to engulf that thing.
Yep.
I didn't catch any 4-pounders doing that. Not that day, but, still.
It doesn't mean they won't bite it.
Coming in with a limit of 16 inches is
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Exactly.
You're going to get points.
Take it any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The only time that didn't help me, I had a solid limit of 3.5-pound largemouths on Lake Winnebago, Wisconsin. And I told my partner, man, we're solid, man. We would be solid on the Harris Lake chain with this kind of a limit.
Yep.
And he's thinking we're going to get a check, and I'm thinking we're going to get check. We get in. We were in the bottom half.
Oh.
Everybody went out onto the lake, which scared the hell out of me, because there were 4-footers, legitimate 4-footers.
Yeah.
I had a walleye boat, a 20-foot walleye boat, and that scared me. It scared me. I did not want to go out there. I knew where the smallmouth were biting. I just wasn't willing to go there. And there were a lot of guys who were.
Yeah.
They came in with limits of. One guy had a 5.5-pound smallmouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
When we were on Erie in July, she was mad the entire week. I mean, mad. And we went out and we went up the Detroit River and went into St. Clair.
Ooh.
And, the ride was pretty rough that morning.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so, we got out there. We allowed ourselves to like an extra hour to get back.
Yes.
And when we come back in, there was 8-foot rollers.
Oh my gosh, that's not just mad, that's furious.
Yes, it was. By the time we got in, it was furious. I mean, it was.
I have that guy. There was a guy who fished the elites his entire career, who rolled his boat coming back into Erie.
Yeah.
I've been sworn. I'm never going to tell anybody who it was, but this guy, you'd know his name if I told you.
Oh yeah. My
It just swallowed up some.
He did an excellent job of riding those trenches.
Yes.
I mean,
get it one and you can ride it. Then when you have to turn right, you can ride the trough.
Yeah.
But then the problem is getting into the harbor.
Yeah.
I've been there, man. I fished with the professional walleye trail for years. But I was a writer, so there were days when I'm like, I'm not going out. Well, come on, man. I've been waiting for 2 years to fish with you.
Nope.
In fact, the first time I ever fished that, I fished with the guy who owned, he was a tackle company owner, Venom Lures, Dave Maurice. And we didn't even get out of the harbor. Right. And I bet you we caught 24 smallmouth apiece. So it's the first day I'd ever fished tubes, and freaking Dave Maurice taught me how to fish tubes.
That's cool.
Oh, that's why I love being an outdoor communicator. Dave Maurice, and then he sent me 200 packs.
That'll work.
Well, I guarantee I gave him his money's worth. But hey, man, I was having such a good time talking to you. It's 35 after the hour. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
So of course, my first shout out is to Drank Crazy and David Swinson. And, thank you so much for the support, and hope I represent well and bring lots of business your way. And then, just thanks to all my sponsors, and hope to see you guys on the water somewhere.
And man, I just want to tell you, anything else happens, you contact me. We'll have you on again.
Okay.
I wish you the best of luck next year, whatever you end up doing.
Thank you, sir.
You definitely have the support of the outdoor writing community that I have created.
Appreciate it.
So, guys, man, it's Thursday. There's a chill in the air in the morning down here. It's time for me to start fishing. I'm going to be out there within the next couple weeks. I'm taking some time, much needed time off work. If you want to take me speckled trout fishing, give me a call, dude. I'd love to go with you. I'd love to go with you. As long as you're safe. That's all I care about. I just want to get out there and catch some fish. I got a nephew now who has a boat. I got about 6 different guys who take me fishing. It's still not enough. So support me. Support the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. Take me fishing. Man, thank you so much for coming on, Rhonda. I know how busy you are.
I really appreciate it.
We're going to make sure that you're busier.
Thank you.
Stick around, Rhonda. With that, guys, I'm going to end the podcast. It's Thursday, guys. It's Thursday. Make your plans. Go fishing. Make memories. Take your kids fishing. Take your wife fishing. Take your girlfriend fishing. Take your buddies fishing. Take Jay fishing, man. It's all good. It's all good. You're absolutely positively never going to learn anything about fishing sitting on your couch. I say that even though I run a podcast. So anyways, with that, I'm going to end this, and please stick around, Rhonda.
Yes, sir.